up, guys? Good morning. You are at Real Life and Law on YT, FB, and TT. I got a little, they call it a simulcast. My name is Eugene, and we're here to answer your questions. The show don't work unless you supply the content. You ask a question, good morning. Let me know if you're on YT or FB. Give me a little shout out. Let me know that everything is copacetic. Someone in the chat wants to, what was the question? Someone in the TT chat gave me a question. I was too busy rambling. Now I'm going to eat my toast. I got some toast, peanut butter, toast, raisins, and sprinkled a little bit of cinnamon on it. So it is kind of like a pre-run meal, and I got some bacon too. I run a lot. Debbie in the chat wants to know, she inherited a house in her name only, and she wants to know if her husband has any right to the house. That's a funny question, Debbie, because I'm always wondering, if you don't want your husband to have any claim to it, it doesn't sound like to me you and the old man are getting along very well. But setting that aside, no. But you have to keep it solely in your name. You cannot transfer it. Don't put his name. Don't refinance it. Don't do any of that stuff. Don't do any of that stuff. Keep it separate. If you inherit it, it's yours. It's not community property. What's up, Irish? I'm sorry about that, Debbie, but it sounds like to me you and the old man ain't getting it. Now you could be, although I'm busting Debbie's chops, but there could be a reason for that. Maybe she don't want. Damn, Debbie, for better or worse. She doesn't want him to get half her retirement, she says, which I understand that, I suppose. But Debbie, if you love him, till death do us part. But now I'm not a big believer in death do us part. So let's get that straight. If you're being mistreated in a relationship, you should always leave. But if it's just a matter of money and you don't want him to get any of your money, well, I mean, hell, I don't know how your family operates, but mine does. Everybody's money goes into a big old pot. Now I do separate out my work money. I have an office expense, so I have an office account, and nobody touches that except for me. But we all have, and then I give my wife money in our checking account and everything. I pay bills. So I don't know about that. That don't really sound like a sustainable way of doing business. You can will your property to whoever you want. Good job, Debbie. I guess you've got an account in your name only. I can't say that I blame you. I always, Debbie, in my practice, when I have women coming into my office, I always advise them to have a separate account. Just because a lot of times in most traditional situations, man carries all the money and holds all the purse strings. And if you think your relationship is going south, then you need to protect yourself. And the best way to do that is get an account in your name and squirrel away a little bit of money. Yeah, so I don't really have a problem with that, but I hate it that you're in a bad relationship and you got some sorry ass that ain't working. That's a horrible situation. Women want a man that's going to work. Unless he's got a physical problem where he can't work. But if he's a malingerer, you need to get rid of him. Debbie, baby, you need to get rid of that man. If he ain't if he ain't paying the bills, he probably if he ain't if he ain't bringing any bacon in, if he's falling down on the job when it comes to getting a job, he's falling down on the job probably in the old bedroom. Probably probably falling down in a boudoir. Yeah, he probably ain't getting it in the bedroom either if he's a lazy ass. That ain't no good, Debbie. I hate to see a woman working and a man sitting at the house. It aggravates the shit right out of me. If the land's in your name, keep it in your name. You don't need a trust. Just keep it in your name. Well, Debbie, I'd get out of there, baby. That's sad for you. I feel sad for you. I feel sad for you, Debbie. Mm. Divor- divor- Divorces can get messy, but they don't have to be. Somebody dip into my YT channel. Somebody look into my YT channel and see if I'm up and running, or my FB channel, see if I'm up and running. I don't ever know if I am or not. I got, thank you, Alexander. That sucks. You don't lose everything in a divorce. All right. Thank you very much. My ears aren't working, but I see it. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Both of them. Well, thank you, Alexandra. It is working. It's not coming through my ears, but I can actually, I've got my font set up on this to where I can see the questions. So thank you. I'm glad it's working. FB is working. Thank you, Amy, about it. Thank I can hear you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So thank you for the mic check on there, guys. Guys, tap, share, follow, subscribe. It is great. Thank you. What's up, Lieutenant? Thank you, Sarah. Well, the only grants I'm doing today, we're almost finishing up when Anna is supposed to go to Lexington, and she's going to do some things with the for those of you who don't know, someone asked about my grants. We're in the middle of writing a grant proposal. It's $1 million proposal spread out over a little more than $1 million spread out over 5 years. What's up, clipping in Alexandra? Get it, baby. Thank you very. Oh, Oh, it says she's clipping in. How am I doing? I'm doing well. The best response if a cop once you pulls you over, just say nothing. But anyway, yeah, don't say nothing. You got a Fifth Amendment right to shut the hell up. Um, so this grant, it's due the 14th. We're going to try to submit it Monday, and Anna has some things to do. She told me she would have a copy for me this afternoon. I'm going to get it and read it. My wife is going to read. She's very good at that kind of stuff. So she's going to edit it, read it. We're going to make some changes if we need to. And then we're going to. Thank you, Gamma. Got you. Thank you. I saw your comment there, Gamma. Thank you. Uh, so now this grant, normally, my wife didn't see this grant till about 3 weeks ago. Normally, I like to take about 2 months to do these things. So we got this one up and running. Writing a grant for a nonprofit that I have. The purpose is to get people that have dropped out of school, dropped out of the workplace. We need to identify these people, get them back into the educational process, and put them in a situation where they've got a trade or they go to college. That's what we do. That is the purpose of the grant. Our target area is the Eastern Kentucky area, 10 counties in Eastern Kentucky. So, yeah, it's a good grant. It is a good grant. It's a worthwhile proposition. Oh, oh, cool. Al- Thank you, Alexandra. Thank you. My ears just started working on that channel. Woohoo! I was looking at it. I knew I hadn't done anything wrong. Clipping in, baby. Get it, get it, get it. Get it, get it, get it. Thank you very much for that. That's cool. The way these grants work, and I've written over $20 million. I love it. I'm glad my ears are working. Thank you very much. I got you, Beverly. The way these grants work is that when I write a grant, I usually put myself in as director, so I make money as a director, and then I might formulate a couple of companies to do some of the work of the grant. Because you have to submit a proposal, you have to agree to do certain tasks and certain jobs, and sometimes I'll create another company to employ people to do those jobs. So I don't actually get money from the grant except for working. So that's how they work. It's I've been doing this a while. I've got a book on my profile on my link. If you look at my link and you're interested, a grant is a really good way to expand an existing business. If you're already in business, writing a grant is a really, really good way to exist or to expand something you're already doing. Um, if you don't have a business, if you're not in business, it's a really good way to start a business. Now, you've got to be a little bit long-sighted when it comes to a grant, because like this one, we'll apply for it. We'll apply for it Monday. The due date's the 14th. It'll take 3 or 4 months for it to. So you have to be willing to hang in there, do the work, and then wait. What's up, Mr. Penny on the TT? How you doing, buddy? but that's the way they work. Um, this is a national grant. It's released through the Department of Labor. There will probably be 300 to 400 applicants. There will probably another 100 or so that already have an existing grant. These grants have been around for many, many, many years. So if you already have one and you're writing another one, they give you bonus points. They give you extra. They give you extra points. So it's hard to really win a grant because there's so many people that have existing grants. It's real hard. This particular grant, we wrote it about 4 years ago. Pardon me. And we missed by 2 points. 2 points. Missed it by that much. Missed it by that much. Yeah, it sucked. I was aggravated. When we got the scores back, just 2 damn points. I was so mad. The Department of Education used to manage these grants. Now, since Trump came in, that's why everybody said everybody's going to lose their grants on it. That's just bullshit. All they really did is got rid of the Department of Ed, which was really a piece of shit. I don't like the Department of Ed. They were worthless. They transferred them from the Department of Ed to the Department of Labor, which is probably where they should have been in the first place. Court-appointed attorneys get paid by a couple of ways. Someone wants to know how a court-appointed attorney gets paid. In some states, they have private corporations. Thank you on the compliment on shirt. Court-appointed attorneys oftentimes are employed, depending on the state, by private corporations. You can start a private corporation and do your own funding for court-appointed lawyers, or the state, like in Kentucky, the state runs the funds the public defender's office. In West Virginia, there's a lot of private companies, private corporations that fund public defenders. So it just depends. I've seen small, I wanted to do this some time ago, is have my own organization and compete for defense work, because I know how to defend people and I would like to do that. I just haven't come across a grant that I could write for to see if I could help people in criminal cases. You get to get private donations and government funding largely. Oh, I'm nowhere near a Costco. Where I live here in Kentucky, we're about an hour and a half, 2 hours away from a Costco or a Sam's Club. We have a Walmart, which, by the way, guys, I don't know how you feel about this, but I'm going to drop this on you. I've not talked about it. I'm going to talk about there are Walmart is participating in this thing called dynamic pricing. If you remember, I think it was last summer, Wendy's tried to do that. What dynamic pricing is they've got these digital price tags now. They're rolling out these digital price tags on the shelf. And what that means is with those digital price tags, that price can change anytime that they think demand is high. I think that's a huge consumer problem. When anytime a store can manipulate the prices at a moment's notice, say it's 105 degrees outside and you want to go in and get you some ice cream. Well, Walmart's gonna know that. All of their AI technology is gonna know that it's hot outside in your particular area, and it goes from region to region. They're gonna know that it's hot in your area, and people like ice cream when it's hot, so they can jack up the price of that ice cream for 3 or 4 hours during the middle of the day, and then they can lower it at night. I just don't understand why big business keeps trying to gouge their customers. Wendy's tried it a couple years ago, year and a half maybe ago. It was a big deal. You could literally order your burger through the window, and then the price would change by the time you got to the window. It's the well, yes. Yeah. Now hotels already do that to a degree. Hotels do it. I don't have a problem I don't have a problem with business making money, and I don't even mind greed. I like greed, but the problem with it is that the customer is buying the product without having any knowledge. I think that's the problem. If you do a this is different than a hotel, because if you book a hotel and you're on Priceline or you're on all these platforms and you're looking for a room, you see the price. It don't change from the time you click the button. And if it does, you come back out and you can do some more shopping. The way this works is that daggone price can change really without you even knowing it in some cases. I mean, it could literally change when you see the circular or you see the advertisement on the new on your paper or in your news feed, and I think I think it's a consumer I think some consumer group will probably get hold of that, but it's different than a hotel. Uh, I don't like it at all. It's a bad idea. Uh And it just little by little, and I don't mind cutting. No, gas stations don't do that. Hotels don't do that. There's a big difference. They post their prices. You know what it is. It ain't a secret. If it changes, you can go down the road. When you're in that damn store, it could change. That's the problem I have with it. Well, the problem is, and I talked about that, someone in the chat said if someone in the chat said that, someone in the chat said, "Well, the consumers can just rise up and not shop there." See this, but this is a problem, particularly with Walmart. And I like Walmart. I shop there. I think they give good value. But the problem with it is Walmart when they started growing, they gobbled up a lot of these mid-size and smaller stores. You know, you've got Dollar General if you don't mind buying week old product, right? Stale product, old product, discarded product. You've got your Dollar General stores and some of these Save-A-Lots and some of these other smaller stores. But what Walmart did is they came in and they got rid of all these other medium-sized competition. So they have the market. This is the problem I have with it. Over time, they have gathered up all the market, and so basically they have a captive audience, and so there's not as much option. That's the problem I have with it. I mean, that's the problem I have with it. So, yeah, it just sucks. And I think, though, somebody will sue them for that. Yeah, I gas is getting ready to come down big time. I mean, I've said that it's gonna come down. People got their hairs on fire. We were paying over $5 a gallon about 2 years ago right here in Kentucky. It ain't gonna go up more, Amy. No, it's coming down. I'm telling you. In California, it's always higher. Well, don't give me the price in California. It's always higher. There's about $1.75 in state federal taxes over there. Yeah, gas will go down though. So I am worried about listen, guys, we lived through $5 a gallon gas, national average, $5 a gallon 2 years ago. So stop it. Stop it. NATO, someone asked my opinion on NATO, and this is not a political opinion. NATO's a piece of shit. NATO has always been a piece of shit. NATO is worthless. NATO has always been a piece of shit. I'm still practicing. Someone wants to know. Yeah. NATO, if NATO won't support what we're doing over there in the Straits of Hormuz, if NATO won't help us support that, then it's terrible. We only get a small percentage of our gas through the Straits of Hormuz. What we're doing is there to support the rest of the country. So, no, NATO's not worth shit. Get rid of it. Well, we are the tyrant. That's funny. Ha ha. Ha 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 ha. No, what we're doing is for the benefit of the world, believe it or not. I know you don't believe that. Don't go pro se. Someone in the chat says they're going to go pro se on their divorce case. Listen, guys, if you're involved in a divorce action and you're wanting to get certain things out of that marriage, do not go pro se. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. You ain't going to get what you want. You're going to be frustrated. Don't go pro se. Pro se, someone wants to know what pro se is. If you do a case pro se, that means you're doing it by yourself. You're being your own lawyer. Guys, I'm here to talk about your life and the law. Got up on gas prices, and that's always something that people we lived through $5 a gallon gas 2 years ago, so don't worry about it. It'll go back. What's up, some dude? Thank you in the chat. Let's talk about you, your life, and the law, guys. That's what I'm here for, to help you get your ass out of a crack. No, yeah. Good question. Someone wants to know if they go pro se, if they do it by themselves, they lose the right to appeal for ineffective assistance of counsel. Yes, you lose that appeal. If you represent yourself, you cannot appeal your case. You cannot claim you had a bad lawyer if you do it yourself. Someone wants me to talk about that virus. Now, I'm no virologist. I don't know any of that. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm only a lawyer. But this is what I know about that virus, the hantavirus. It's real. Hantavirus is real. It's been around a long time. But this is what I know, and it strikes me as being odd. The only fella that seems to have know anything about that virus is that dude that you see on the internet. He's by himself. He's the only one on the phone. No one else is broadcast from that ship. That sounds weird to me, and it's a panic device. Yeah, he's reading a script. It's a little nutty. Someone in the chat just mentioned he's reading a script. I just found it odd that that's the only person I've heard from on that ship. That doesn't make sense to me. Now, are there people are there people on that ship that probably have it? Yeah, I'm not gonna be one of those people that's gonna deny it. I think there are people on that ship that are sick, but we've got this hantavirus, they're trying to gin up this, it's almost election time, guys. It's almost election time. So watch out for the viruses. Yeah, they're going to keep you from voting. That's how the government kept you from voting the last time. It ain't nobody else other than they told you to stay in, not to get around people. You couldn't be in line, vote from home, drop off ballots. All of that was a product of this last little fiasco we had. And there are gonna be some people try to replay that right now. And do not fall for it. Do not fall for it. Fool me once, so don't fall for it. This little virus is just to keep you home, put you in a mask. That's what some people really want. A lot of governments loved it. A lot of governments loved it when they kept you home, kept you in a mask, kept you from talking to each other. They loved it. They controlled your speech. They told you what to talk about, what not to talk. You A good question. I'm gonna address this. On Facebook, someone says, "What happens if someone is found incompetent to stand trial?" Very good question from Facebook. Thank you very much. If someone is found incompetent. Now that's a whole nother thing. If you're an attorney and you believe your client is incompetent to stand trial, you have to have them evaluated. There's a whole process to be found incompetent to stand trial. And so what happens is they will put you in a facility until you are competent. And then once you're competent to stand trial, they're going to try you. So that's what happens. It's not a get out of jail free card. It's like the insanity plea. You complete insanity at the time you committed the crime, but that doesn't mean you get out of jail. That doesn't mean you're free from punishment. It's just gonna be a different kind of confinement. That's all. That's all. So it's not really a trick. A lot of people try to think that's a trick. No, it's tough to be found incompetent to stand trial. Yeah, but well, you're gonna go to a different kind of facility. Someone said, so basically you're gonna go to jail no matter what. It's a different kind of facility. If you're found incompetent, they'll set you aside until you can stand trial. If if you plead insanity and they find out that you were insane at the time that you committed the crime, they're gonna do some other kind of punishment. The nut farm. And how many mods do I have on here? Hey, Michelle, if you see those bots pop up, somebody get them. If you don't care, I can't. I would. I try and I screw things up every time I try to get them. So I hope I answered your question out there on Facebook. Thank you very much for it, Beverly. Miss Beverly on Facebook. Oh, I didn't think oh, crap. Are you here, Bob? I think my daughter's on. What's up, Bob? We were talking about you earlier. My daughter is in the chat. Yeah, so on Facebook, thank you, Beverly. Yeah, the judge can order someone to undergo an evaluation if they think they're not competent. A judge can do that. A judge can do it, but generally what you'll see is their lawyer will do it. If they don't have a lawyer, then the judge will do it. Not a get out of jail free card, though. Nice. Thank you very much. I like pre-cooked bacon better. Someone in the chat wants to know if I like regular bacon better than pre-cooked. I like pre-cooked. It's less mess. You know, you fry up. First off, when you buy pre-cooked bacon, it's you get what you get. When it's pre-cooked, you know exactly how it's going to fry up or cook up. Get regular bacon, you don't know what you could start out with a strip 8 inches long and end up with a strip 2 inches long. And there's less mess. Guys, if you like what I'm doing, I appreciate the gifts. You can donate. I have an app where you can donate here. If you go to my profile, you'll see it right down there with my other stuff. Show my YouTube channel some love. Show my Facebook some love, guys. I appreciate it. I'm always here Fridays. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. I like what I do. I'm having fun. You can donate. Give me a cup of coffee if you can. You can send me a gift through the other applications, but a cup of coffee is a little bit better if you want to know. So you can get my books. I've got 4 books on my page, guys, and you can, if you're looking in on me, you see my T-shirts hanging up. I got a couple of shirts. I got a mug. See my mug there. Shirts. Take a look at my merchandise, guys. I've got 4 books on my page too, so you can take a look at those. Boom. Thank you guys in the chat over there in TT. I did say nice things about you, Bob. Guys, the chat is popping over here in TT. Let's ask a question, talk about you, your life. What's up, Suzanne? In the chat. Thank you. Guys, if you have a question you really want to get answered, if you go over to my YT or my FB page, you can ask a better question, a longer question, a more detailed question. Someone in the chat wants to know if I would ever be a judge. I did run for judge. I got my ass kicked. I'm having my tea right now. Earl Grey. Well, actually, this is Lady Grey. What's up, some dude? What's up, guys? Guys, I am visually impaired. When you see me with my headphones off, generally I cannot hear you. I'm visually impaired in both eyes. I've had a lot of crazy cases. A lot. I do drive. I do drive. I have a valid license for now. I do drive. Actually, I can see, but I can't see to read. Macular degeneration is a hereditary problem. Someone wants to know what it is. Sometimes it's a hereditary problem, but most people get it with age and diabetes. If you have diabetes and you're older, you're likely to get macular degeneration. I am old, but I've had this since I've been about 7 years old. I've never had diabetes. I've not had diabetes. So there's injections in my eyes don't work. My Meta glasses should come in tomorrow. Those of you that's been following me, I went and got fit for a pair of Meta glasses. Um, so the Meta glasses are coming in a couple of days. They called me yesterday. So I'm gonna try them on here first time. Yeah, I've had this my whole life. I've had 2 kidney transplants too, unrelated. But my vision has been, I mean, I've lived with it. Well, I have adapted to this. I can see. I play table tennis. I shoot basketball. I just can't read. I can't see to read. Macular degeneration affects your central vision. You have your peripheral vision, so you can see. It's not like you're totally blind. But when you go to zero in on something when you're reading, that's where macular degeneration is a problem. You get a bunch of holes. Just imagine it if you're looking at somebody and their head has disappeared. Staring straight at them, their head has disappeared. That's what I have right now. When I look right at this screen and I'm trying to see my face, my whole head has disappeared. I cannot see my head if I look directly at myself. But when I turn to the side, I can see myself. But you can't read with your peripheral vision. It's just not the way you're supposed to read it. It doesn't help. So your central vision is where you read from it. And so it's a reading issue more than anything else. I have adapted. I've had it my whole life. So I guess I'm fortunate that I have learned to do some things that I do. And glasses do help to some degree. I have a pair of what they call, I'll show them to you if I can find them. I have a pair of low vision glasses. No, mine, those are my low vision glasses. Someone in the chat wants to know, um, someone had passed away, and this is normal. Whenever your folks pass away, they're going to be people that will take the stuff out. And if you think you're entitled to get some of that stuff, if you're in a situation where someone has passed away and you think you're entitled to get some of the stuff that they left behind, you need to get yourself a lawyer and get involved in that case and stop that from happening. If you do not, it's all going to be gone. And then later on, when you go to try to file a case, there ain't nothing going to be there. And a judge or the law enforcement or the prosecutor will not be able to help you. They don't get involved. Prosecutors and police don't get involved in that mess. If you haven't put a court paper in, a document, and have them come to court and let the judge tell them, do not disturb any of that stuff until the probate case goes through. If you don't do that, you ain't going to have nothing. You've got to be proactive. You just can't sit around and bitch and whine and cry. That's not going to help you. Bitching, whining, and crying don't help in those situations. You got to be proactive, get yourself a lawyer, get involved in the case, or you ain't going to have nothing. Because people don't care. They're greedy. They don't care. So if you think someone has passed and they left you some stuff and there's other people taking your stuff, you got to go to court. Sad to say. I'm going to see. I've been working out a case on a car lot. Guys, tap, share, follow. You can, this is your page, guys. What's up? What's up, Shady? Thank you for the compliment. I've got books on here, guys. You can get books. You can book a call if you have an issue and you're not quite sure how to deal with it. Book a call. I can help you get your ass out of a crack. April, thank you. I'm going through my gift givers. Thank you, April. Over the past week, I've had 3 or 4 people donate me a cup of coffee. I appreciate you, April. I really do. Um, looking to see the car lot has not sent me anything. I'm waiting on a car lot. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I do, I do, I do. Guys, if you're looking in on me on YT or FB, give me a shout out. Let me know that you're on here. If not, TT is hopping today. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. No, I don't see it. Thank you very much. Somebody just shouts out on me here. What's up, Ira? Is it Ira? Ina. What's up, Ina? Ina on FB. Thank you, baby, for looking in. Someone had a question on the what it was. If you don't mind to repost it, I'll try to answer it if I can. Guys, this platform, all these platforms are. Oh, James wants to pay our rent in the chat. This happens only on TT. It doesn't happen on FB or YT spam in the chat. Thank you, Bob. My daughter Anna is in the chat and also a moderator. Thanks, Anna. Anna, you should have hit him up. If you've had a someone in the chat wants to know that said they've had a speeding ticket and do they need a lawyer? Generally, you don't need a lawyer with a speeding ticket. I probably wouldn't spend the money on a lawyer. A lawyer on a speeding ticket probably cost you about 500 bucks at minimum. Normally, what I advise people to do if they got a speeding ticket, show up to court. The police might not show up. If the police don't show up, you can ask the judge to dismiss it. Now, if you do that, the judge might give that police officer one more chance to show up at court, but if they don't show up, the judge will dismiss that case. So at least show up. And so I'll tell you another thing, prosecutors across the country, a lot of them they have something called a diversion program. If it's your first ticket, ask them if they have a diversion program. And so what that is they'll hold that ticket for a period of 6 months. You're gonna have to take a class, and then at the end of that period, and if you've had those classes, that ticket goes away. So you'll wanna ask. No, Kelly, you can do that. Yeah. Now there are some, I've done speeding tickets here locally where I know some of the people, and they will, dismiss the case or they'll set it aside, they'll put you on some type of probation. A lot of if you can get a lawyer, they'll do that, but it's still going it just depends on what it's worth to you. But most places have a diversion program for if it's your first time. They got a diversion program. You can do it. You'll have to take a class, and at the end of that time period, it'll be like Surf Pro, like it never even happened. Someone in the chat wants to know, someone had stole some money from somebody's estate. Is there anything they can do about it? You can go to the prosecutor. You could go to the prosecutor if you can absolutely prove that they stole the money. But just because it ain't there doesn't mean they didn't steal it. Just because it ain't there doesn't mean that they didn't have permission from that person to get that money. There's a whole lot of things when it comes to stolen money that could be a defense. But if you really think someone stole money, you got to go to the prosecutor's office, go to law enforcement. Some prosecutors won't touch a case until the police get into it. So it just depends on how your local situation works. Yes, if you got in trouble for driving without a license 10 years ago, it might be on your background check. What I would do, and this is always a good thing to do, because sometimes, I'm going to tell you what, sometimes you might get in trouble with the law. You might have thought you paid a fine, or you might have paid somebody to take care of it for you, and they didn't. But if you're getting ready to go apply for a job, you probably should run your own background check. It'll cost you about 75 bucks. It'll be well worth it. That way you'll see what's on your record and you can fix it before you go apply for that job. I always tell people to do that. It's a really smart thing to do, and it could save you some hassle. So I would probably do my own background check. And then also in connection to that, if you're getting ready to go get a job and you indulge in a little bit of the smoky, you want to get yourself your own urine screen. You want to know what's in your system before you go apply, because a lot of jobs will do a pre-employment urine screen. And that's the last thing you want to have happen is show up bad, because then they're going to mark you off their list forever. So do your own test. Chronic pain is probably hard to get. I got a friend that's had 12 back surgeries. He gets up and goes to work every day. He's a former police officer. He's been in all kinds of mess. I hate it if you got back problems. That sucks. But just because you've had back surgery does not mean you're disabled. I'm just sorry to tell you that. It doesn't work that way. Get up and go to work. It makes you feel better. When you work, you feel better. I plan to work until I can't work anymore. I don't know when that'll be. I plan to run till I can't run anymore. I'm going to get out and run today. I just bit my damn. Get you some bacon, boy. Damn, I bit the shit out of my tongue. Mm. Yep. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off of my YT and FB. I'm going to stay on TT. Guys, thank you very much for showing up on my YT and FB. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, guys. Tell your friends, bookmark this, set your notification, and until the next time, guys, if life and law collide in your world, if life and law collide in your world and you don't know what to do, if you've had a car wreck, you give me a holler. If you know anybody that's been diagnosed with asthma, I'm doing some work with the Mark Lanier Law Firm. You can holler at me. Mesothelioma, silicosis, holler at me. We would be happy to help you through this. But any other issue, you know how to get hold of me. You can book a call or you can give me a holler. So until next time, guys, thank you very much for showing up.